Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and God, I wish I saw Joker, but I haven't. So what am I doing here talking about the movie? I haven't even seen it. How hypocritical of you, Andy. Oh, well, guess what? I brought someone who has. Lewis, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you, Andy. Thanks for having me up here.
Thanks for coming, man. You showed up to the live stream. We had a good little talk, but I thought let's call back and I have some more questions. And because so many people are getting so nervous and excited for this film, I thought we could do a non-spoiler conversation to break down some of the worries people are having, and you can help ease our worries or add to them, depending on how you react, to some of these sort of claims that the movie is dangerous. Have you heard this?
A lot.
Yeah? The movie is so dangerous that it was actually, it says here on Robbie Collin of the Telegraph, says it's a very good film, but I'm worried someone's going to get killed. Similarly, IndieWire labeled Joker as the boldest reinvention of superhero cinema since The Dark Knight, but also claim that the movie is a toxic rallying cry for self-pitying incels and good enough to be dangerous. Now, full disclosure, I had to look up what the word incel meant. It means somebody who's involuntary celibate. They're painting this, if you go to Urban Dictionary and stuff, it's sort of like douchebags who like can't get laid by women, so they blame women, which is pretty much Travis Bickle and Taxi Driver. But that's sort of what an incel is. And so apparently that's a whole toxic crowd of people that Joker is going to rally. So, Lewis, I turn to you. Do you feel like this movie is dangerous? Are these concerns, and again, no spoilers for our audience, but do you feel like this movie, without spoiling it, is going to be dangerous in a way where it could inspire someone to be a shooter or a killer or go off on women? What do you think?
Look, I could only speak from my experience. I didn't feel anything like that. I grew up watching horror movies, Jason, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. One of my idols is Michael Myers. Yeah. So, I mean, I can't, no, I don't think it's going to influence anyone. I mean, I don't get that, really. I just think we should go back to just having fun with movies and stop trying to politicizing everything and blaming everything on everything else and take more self-responsibility. But that's just my personal opinion.
Amen, sir. I mean, look, there's another topic I'm going to get to and why people are nervous, but let's stay on this one for a little bit. Because, it's sort of the same thing about like, oh, we got to cancel video games now because there's people who are shooting people. To me, it's as silly as that one, which is like, whoa, I mean, sure, could there be a bad apple who's going to use this as an excuse? Maybe, but does that mean we shouldn't make movies? Like, I'm confused. We shouldn't make video games because someone wasn't parented correctly? That's where this gets really hairy and dangerous. So, but what's crazy is, as you remember, was it Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises when the Aurora shooting happened? Because that was also inspired by that, where the person opened fire at one of the Dark Knight, I think it was Dark Knight Rises screenings.
The theater, yes, that was an unfortunate event at the midnight screening for the Dark Knight Rises.
Right, Rises.
The person, and I use that loosely, that did that is a nutball. He's been determined to be crazy. So crazy always finds a way.
Right, and it's totally horrific and crazy, and thoughts really do go out to those families because that was an atrocious event that was just awful.
Terrible.
But I don't believe the movie was what caused that. The person was, like as you said, was nuts and had problems, and we got to fix that problem. Everyone wants to focus on gun control, which is a complicated topic. Let's not get into it. We're having fun with movies here. But, it's beyond that. It's also mental illness, and how do we make sure people are taken care of is another thing that people don't want to talk about. And so I think it's unfair we blame this movie. So you are saying you agree here, and you say the Joker is not something we should be worried about. The character isn't someone who's like, kids, go murder. He's not like Slender Man or what are some of these other urban legends.
No, and it asks the questions, how are we treating maybe, the mentally ill? Are we picking on people? Are we treating people like crap on top of that they have a problem? Maybe something else to think about. Maybe that's in the movie. Maybe it's not. I don't want to spoil it, but
well, they imply that. I mean, I'll let me jump in that because I haven't seen it, so I can speculate. But yeah, there seems to be parts of the movie where Arthur Fleck is just being kicked upon while he's down, and the synopsis even says he's got some mental problems that can trigger people to turn into villains. And so, to me, the gathering I'm getting from this film is this is almost a warning sign of just sort of what can happen when you keep kicking someone while they're down or don't have the mental capacity to really understand it. And that's where someone like the Joker can be born, in which case it's sort of the opposite. It's a, if anything, a cautionary tale of how we should be treating others. No?
Yeah. And this could actually be female. The movie could center around a female too. I mean, people treat other people like crap. They don't bother to look at and see if maybe there's something wrong with them. They don't pick up on that, and they don't understand, and they kick them while they're down, like you said. And it could be Joker could have been a Hispanic female. It's still the same story. You know what I mean? So you got to check it out and determine for yourself.
All right, so issue 1, though, you've debunked that we shouldn't be that worried that it's not something that's going to be dangerous or people should be having warning signs when they go in the movie. Okay, great. Good to hear.
Of course it's a debunk, man. You shouldn't oppress people's art, and this is art. Movies are art. So, I mean, we should stay out of that. It's a very slippery slope, and again, movies are escapism, and they're art, in my opinion. So let's, they're not going to cause anyone to do anything.
I agree. All right. So issue 2 that I've heard a lot of people complaining about is that the film is really just a ripoff of either call it Taxi Driver or King of Comedy, and this will now begin a trend of finding a new way to shove superhero films down our throats, because now we're going to create, let's just do Scarface with the Flash, or let's go do One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but it's got Green Lantern. That's now sort of this weird new idea that people are throwing out there of like, oh my God, this one works, but now we're going to see the studios go back to their library and say, what other weird classics can we reinvent with a superhero in it? Do you feel like that trend will take off after this film?
I have not heard that one before, but only the market will dictate. If you can make a $55 million movie like the Joker is and make $350 in the box office back, the people have spoken, and I enjoyed the film, so I don't mind watching a few more like this, and then the trend will die if that's the case. I mean, isn't Superman and the Passion of the Christ the same movie as well? So,
wow, that is an interesting video. We should do that. Someone needs to make that comparison, because you're probably right. But I guess what I'm asking you is, do you feel like the film is original enough, or is it really sort of borrowing too much from Scorsese's either King of Comedy or Taxi Driver? Do you feel like it's on its own merits, or is there a lot borrowed in sort of the tone and feel of it?
There's borrowed. And I spoke to you. I did feel One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest vibe and a Casino vibe. It's definitely borrowing from the great films of the early '80s era. Not really a bad thing, but it is its own thing, in my opinion. It stands on its own. So I wouldn't worry about that.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the vibe. People are saying, like, 70s, 80s, like early 80s, 70s vibe films is what this film is borrowing from, which Todd Phillips clearly, I don't think, is hiding that fact. I mean, he cast De Niro in the role. Clearly, he's a Scorsese fan and is trying to emulate some of those tones and colors. So that is not, I guess the other answer to debunk it, and I haven't seen it, is every movie rips off every movie. I mean, Tarantino does it in every one of his movies, and it's called brilliant. So what are we talking about? Excuse me. You are just confirming the fact that it's not just a rip-off of one video. Yes, movie. It's got multiple nods to multiple things.
And multiple nods to the comics, too. So
great. And then lastly, there's one more that I heard where even Todd Phillips said, look, this is a standalone film, but if it does well, I think we could go with more stuff and we could take Joaquin Phoenix to more places. This could become a franchise if the audience gets tickets. That gives me even a little bit of pause, because I'm like, well, wait a second. What do you mean? Wait, there's more? Again, this is a tough one to answer because I don't want to spoil it. And I know you won't, because I sort of asked you this already. But again, for the viewers who didn't see the first part, is there a worry that this might just become more DC franchise fatigue? Or is there something actually interesting here in a world built that you think we should be able to see more of?
I want to see more of this, like a lot. So that's music to my ears. Todd Phillips said that he's going to build up this universe. I'm down for it. I mean, it's great. It's a great movie. It's like, why would you not want to? Why would you want to throw this away? I mean, everyone's calling it a masterpiece, right? So, and that's not saying, Andy, you may see it and say it's horrible, right? So I don't know, but I'm very curious to see what you think, because you really know your film and stuff. But you got a month to go. But I really want them to build up on this. I even told the PR over there at Warner Brothers that that's what I want.
Yeah, no, I'm curious because obviously the big question mark is Joaquin Phoenix. Will he agree to do sequels and more Joker movies? Will he want to revisit this, I imagine, heinous character? I imagine it takes a toll to play the Joker. I haven't even seen it. I can imagine he's going to go all in, no?
Well, he seemed to be like really into the character. Very.
Because you were there with the Q&A afterwards, right? Yeah, go ahead. What was? Yeah, he felt like he was into it.
Yeah, he was extremely happy to be there. It wasn't like he was like, comic books are beneath him. yeah, he was talking to everyone. You expect an actor like this that has been around for such a long time to be a little standoffish because, everyone just, swamps him and stuff. He doesn't really have much of a private life, but he was very approachable. And either he's extremely a good actor as far as like seeming like a down to earth person,
which he is, but yeah.
yeah. I mean, I can't, he was great, man. I mean,
so that's interesting. The persona of him, as you talk to him, he wasn't like, oh, yeah. I mean, that's what you do in the awards circuit. Like, he's clearly going to go on an awards run, and in order to win the awards, you got to go shake a lot of hands and pose with babies. That's how the Academy, you got to go see the Academy members. You got to throw lots of screenings. I remember those days. And so he's clearly, it sounds to me like he's going to embrace that vibe, and hopefully maybe he'll finally, because he hasn't won an Oscar yet, if he gets it with this, that may open up his eyes of like, well, damn, the audience, there's a role they really love of mine. I mean, when's the last Joaquin Phoenix role that like is just commercially like blew people away? It's still probably Gladiator in a way, right?
Walk the Line.
Walk the Line. Okay, fair. Yeah. Johnny Cash was a big one too.
Great.
But he's done a lot of, so many bigger independent films, but just from a commercial perspective, you're right. Probably Walk the Line and Gladiator are the two that most everyday people be like, oh yeah, he was great in those. So to have now the Joker, because I still think, now we're going off topic, but I'm just curious. I think Heath Ledger would have totally done more Joker. Don't you think?
Yeah, man, it's hard to tell. We definitely want Heath Ledger to have done more Jokers. I think his would have been more comic book-y. It's weird to say. Again, unless you've seen the movie, it's hard to discuss it. But here, I'll give you a little snippet of what happened during the Q&A. Someone asked him, "How'd you come out with that laugh?" Right, the crazy laugh in the movie, and Joaquin Phoenix's answer was, I just laughed. And then he goes, I could sit here and lie to you like a lot of actors and say I looked at everyone's example. I looked at several examples of laughs, but for me, I simply laughed. Todd liked it, and I went with it.
Wow.
That's what he said.
I love it. And it was a jokery laugh. I mean, we've seen parts of it in the trailer. Yeah, he just totally, that's interesting. I wonder if though he knew of the Joker, like I wonder if that was in his head as he laughed. Or if he, but that's still really kind of ballsy and nice to hear. And just shows like Phillips knew, look, I'm letting Joaquin do what Joaquin does. Because when you get a horse like that, you let him run or you're just an idiot. And so the fact that he scored Joaquin for this film and everything I've read, he had to talk not only Joaquin, but the studio into making this film. That makes it all the much better when it works. Because now Todd Phillips is going to be getting some serious offers next of what he does. Even I think no matter what the results are, the fact that this is now such a critic darling is going to impress a ton of people that I feel like probably hasn't gotten this kind of love in a really long time.
Hangover 4. We're going to have Hangover.
Well, now we won't have to have Hangover 4 is what's so nice about this. Hopefully they'll give him some more opportunities. All right,
go Origins of Mike Tyson. There we go.
Oh, yeah. Well, I want to see him do a Tyson biopic. That would be even more fascinating. All right. Well, thank you. This wraps up and eases my worries. So hopefully it eased our viewers' worries. Any final thoughts you want to give the audience so they can get excited without spoiling?
Oh, man. I can't wait to check it out again. I feel for you. Getting a lot of messages here. People want to know spoilers. They're excited for the film. And I feel for you because they're still a month away. It's going to premiere at TIFF this Monday. So you're going to get more reviews. I recommend everyone avoid spoilers. Just enjoy it in the movie theater, whether you like it or not. That's the best way to watch a movie. And we'll go with that right now. And I have a kind of spoiler-free review over there on Nerd Report if you guys want to check it out.
Yes, I was just about to plug you. Make sure to go see Lewis. Support him over at Nerd Report on YouTube. The link will be in the description below. So go watch the full review and go support the channel. Lewis is a great guy. Thank you so much for coming by. Come back anytime. Let's do this. I want to come on Nerd Report. Yes, will you have me?
Yes, you got to come in here. Let's wait till. Well, I'm gonna set up an air conditioner or something. I don't know if you guys could tell, but I'm burning up here. We're going through a heat wave, man.
Oh man, I'm going through a hurricane, and you're worried about your heat wave. But yes, next time I'm in LA, I will make a point. And next time you're in Florida, we will show up in our studios. But in the meanwhile, thank God for Google Hangouts.
Woo!
But no, Lewis, thank you so much. Check out Nerd Report. I'm so jealous of you. But everybody out there, stop being so serious. Why so serious?
Why?
Don't be so serious. Let's just enjoy the movie. Quit worrying. I'm glad we could ease your worries. Be sure to go to Nerd Report. support, make sure to subscribe. Hit that button to subscribe and notify the bell. Oh, God, even though I've been doing this for so long, I keep hating how I do this. But you know what to do. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back soon, and have an awesome day. Bye, everybody.